Mark Cuban's ego-driven gamble, how the Mavericks fell victim to one of the NBA's worst drafts. Mark Cuban is a name that resonates far beyond the basketball court. As the outspoken, larger-than-life owner of the Dallas Mavericks, Cuban has built a reputation for innovation, boldness, and a willingness to challenge the status quo. But every success story has its bumps, and even Cuban's meteoric rise was marked by a humbling experience that still serves as a cautionary tale for team owners and sports executives. That experience came during the 2000 NBA draft, a draft often labeled one of the worst in league history, and Cuban, in his eagerness to leave a mark on the NBA, found himself at the center of one of the most infamous miscalculations in basketball history. The arrival of a Maverick owner. When Mark Cuban purchased the Dallas Mavericks in 2000, he was already a proven entrepreneur. Having grown and eventually sold Broadcast.com to Yahoo for nearly $6 billion, Cuban had the kind of financial and business acumen that most people could only dream of. He was used to making big bets, calculating risks, and seeing them pay off. However, the NBA was an entirely different battlefield. The dynamics of team ownership, player development, and league politics presented a challenge that even a seasoned businessman like Cuban would soon realize was far more complex than any corporate boardroom. Cuban entered the league with a reputation for being bold and unconventional. He was ready to shake things up, and he believed that his success in business would translate seamlessly to success on the hardwood. He wanted to make a statement not just for the Mavericks but for the entire NBA. The 2000 NBA draft, ambition meets overconfidence. Cuban's ambition manifested early in his tenure as Mavericks owner. In his first draft, he aggressively pursued talent, acquiring 3 first-round picks, a move that, on paper, should have positioned the team for a new era of dominance. "I remember my first year, I bought 3 number 1 picks in the 2000 draft," Cuban later reflected, "and it ended up being the worst draft in the history of the NBA." At the time, Cuban's strategy made sense in theory. Multiple first-round picks are a powerful tool, giving a team the potential to land franchise-altering talent. However, the 2000 draft class was notoriously weak. While there were a few bright spots, players like Kenyon Martin, Mike Miller, and Jamal Crawford, overall, the draft produced far fewer impactful stars than anyone had hoped. For Cuban, this meant that his aggressive investment didn't yield the expected results, and the Mavericks were left with high picks that simply didn't pan out. Ego and the pitfalls of overconfidence. Cuban's reflection on this experience is candid and instructive. He openly acknowledges that his overconfidence, rooted in his business successes, clouded his judgment. "You come in, you're successful at your business, and you think to yourself, 'I'm smart, I'm good. I took this business and grew it to whatever put me in a position to buy this team,'" he explained. "So, I'm going to stick with what works for me." This is a classic example of the ego trap. Cuban's self-assurance, while beneficial in the world of tech entrepreneurship, became a liability in the NBA. The intricacies of scouting, player development, and team chemistry are not lessons one learns from spreadsheets or balance sheets. Cuban's initial approach illustrates how success in one domain can create overconfidence that leads to costly mistakes in another. The 2000 draft serves as a microcosm of this phenomenon. Cuban's desire to assert control, to make bold moves, and to assert his identity as a transformative owner ultimately collided with the unpredictable realities of professional basketball. The human side of decision-making beyond the mechanics of drafts and picks. Cuban's experience highlights an important lesson about human psychology in high-pressure roles. Overconfidence, especially when combined with ambition, can blind even the smartest individuals to potential pitfalls. Cuban's humility in retrospect is what sets him apart from other owners who might refuse to acknowledge missteps. "That ego also makes you overconfident to a certain extent," he admitted. "Acknowledging mistakes is difficult in any field, but in the public eye of the NBA, it's even harder." Cuban's ability to reflect on his own errors demonstrates a level of self-awareness that not only improved his future decision-making but also shaped his leadership style. It's a reminder that even the boldest leaders must balance confidence with humility and vision with pragmatism. From misstep to mastery, learning from the draft. The lessons Cuban drew from the 2000 draft didn't end with embarrassment. Instead, they became a foundation for how he approached team building in the following years. Recognizing that raw ambition alone wasn't enough, Cuban learned to value research, scouting, and collaboration with his coaching and management staff. This adaptability paid off. The Mavericks gradually transformed from a struggling franchise into a perennial contender. By 2011, Dallas achieved the ultimate reward for Cuban's evolved approach, an NBA championship. That success wasn't just about acquiring talent, it was about learning from past mistakes, understanding the human dynamics of a team, and applying lessons in humility and strategic patience. A cautionary tale for future owners. Mark Cuban's reflect irons on the 2000 NBA draft offer a powerful lesson for anyone in a position of authority. Ambition and boldness are essential traits, but without careful assessment, humility, and a willingness to learn, they can lead to monumental missteps. The worst draft in NBA history may be a historical footnote, but the insights it provides are timeless. For current and aspiring team owners, Cuban's journey underscores the importance of 1. Adaptability. No matter how successful one has been in the past, new arenas demand new strategies. 2. Self-awareness. Recognizing the influence of ego and overconfidence can prevent avoidable mistakes. 3. Collaboration. Leveraging expertise from trusted advisors and scouts ensures decisions are informed and balanced. For patience, instant success is rare. Learning from failures often paves the way for long-term triumph. In the fast-paced, high-stakes world of the NBA, Cuban's experience is more than a cautionary tale, it's a blueprint for growth. It reminds us that even the boldest leaders must temper their ambition with wisdom, and that missteps, when approached with humility, can become the greatest teachers. Conclusion. The legacy beyond the misstep. Mark Cuban's early gamble in the 2000 NBA draft may have been a disaster by statistical and reputational measures, but it also set the stage for a deeper understanding of leadership and strategy in sports. His journey from overconfident newcomer to seasoned champion owner reflects the delicate balance between ambition and humility, risk and prudence. As the NBA continues to evolve, Cuban's reflect irons remain relevant. They echo through the corridors of team management, reminding us that true success is not just about making bold moves, but about learning from them, adapting, and ultimately building something that lasts. The 2000 draft will forever be a footnote in history books, but the lessons Cuban extracted from it are timeless. In the end, it was not the picks he acquired that defined his legacy, but the wisdom he gained, the humility he embraced, and the championship he eventually built.